I will be spraying our soybean food plot, and you can tell these freaking horseflies are horrible out here right now. Probably the worst time of year for them. Our soybean food plot has got lots of weeds in it, as you can tell, and like I said in the actual food plot video, they didn't come up as good as I was hoping, at least like throughout here, but up here they're a little better, but it's just a little patchy. I know I gotta spray these weeds before the weeds really take over, and then the beans get a little too big to drive over, because I will just be using this 15-gallon spot sprayer. I'm just gonna drive right through them. I know I'm gonna crush and probably kill a few with the wheels, but I can shoot all the way to our sorghum wall probably, and almost all the way to the edge on the other side, so it should be pretty quick, and I only have to go through there a few times because it's such a small field. But yeah, that's my plan for today, and maybe in the future I'll have to spray the other soybean food plot. We planted that about a week or two after this one, so there's not as many weeds right now. So I'm gonna get spraying, and hopefully this doesn't take too long. All right, here's a quick look at the food plot here. There's a lot of this, whatever this is. I think it's called ragweed or something, but there's a lot of this in here. And you can tell it's really starting to take over. There's lots of grasses in here too. So once I get this sprayed, it'll look great. But the only thing is, then the beans will be pretty well exposed, and they're still kind of small, and the deer can still do some damage on them, which is unfortunate. But I gotta spray it before it gets really bad. So let's get going. Alright, so I'm back out here again. This is after 3 days after I sprayed, and you can see the weeds are just starting to die. The grass is dying real quick. Some of the broadleaves are dying a little slower, and you can see our sorghum wall here getting a little bigger. Beans are getting bigger. Here's a look at the beans here. This usually happens after you spray. They aren't gonna die. It just does stress them out a little bit, so they turn a little yellow. But then the new leaves that they grow turn nice, lush, and green. And all this weeds will turn into a nice weed mat and as a mulch just for these beans. And this will just look really good in about a month from now. These beans will be like double this height. It'll look really good. Well, here we are after 1 week, and it is looking good. Everything is completely dead. There's only a few spots that I missed in here. I'm really happy with the results. Well, I'm right on the edge of the sorghum wall here. We had a few rows of corn in here with beans in the middle here, but right up in this first corner here is where it was really grassy. Lots of grass coming in. I knew that grass would die off really quick versus like some of these weeds like right here. I think that's ragweed. Some of these broadleafs are a little slower at dying, but nonetheless they are still dying, so that's good. You can see right here, there's one spot I kind of missed, a little green there, but before the whole plot was really green because the beans and the weeds. Now I really cleaned it up. You can see right here another spot I missed, but that's really nothing. That's just one little tiny spot in our field here. But you can see here our beans didn't come up that good. They are really thin in here. And since we live in an agricultural area, I mean these beans really don't get hammered too hard by the deer versus if you were in more of a timber country. Like this plot right here is like literally a third to maybe a half an acre, and it's still going strong. So I know a lot of you guys were asking me questions like, oh, how can your beans survive when you plant only like a half acre? Well, this is the answer, because we live in an ag country and there is lots of other crops around for the deer to eat on. And again, up here, all this ragweed is really dying off good. I can't even tell where I drove in here anymore, which is good. Knocked down a few of them, but really didn't do much damage at all to the plot. Up here is where it starts to get a little taller. But yeah, this will be a really good winter food source for these deer out here, like it was last year. I mean, you can see a few areas where they're getting nipped on, but it really isn't nothing terrible yet. I'm hoping that now that I'm saying this, I'm hoping they don't get too devastated by the deer, because they are kind of more exposed now that the weeds are out of here. They are definitely getting a little more chewed on now, so we'll see what happens. But then again, that's what we planned them for. But yeah, guys, that's the end of this one, and it really turned out good. Actually, I'll just show you my other bean plots just on the other side of that brush over there in just a sec. Alright, right here's the other bean plot. This one's not really that big at all. This is just to add a little more acreage to the first one. And this one was planted a week later, and it's almost probably caught up. I know we had a little better germination on this one, so the deer kind of hammered it pretty bad right in the beginning, but it's kind of recovered from that and it's looking good. They're actually starting to eat on the other one more than this one, which is kind of surprising. I thought they'd be back here in this little lane here a lot, but they really aren't, right now at least. Yeah, and the couple rows of corn we got up here are looking pretty good. Probably sucking a little nutrients from the beans, which is, it's alright, it's corn. So, yeah. That's the end of this video, guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. We'll be having lots of more videos this year. And hunting's right around the corner, so can't wait. I'm sure you guys can't either, so these damn bugs are terrible. Whatever, see you guys.